The Imperium High Command Chamber buzzed with tension. A massive holographic projection of the galaxy floated at the center, its luminous colors reflecting off the sleek metallic walls. Delegates from the Imperium's dominant species, each clad in their ceremonial attire, watched in silence as a mysterious signal was decrypted by communication officers. "Report now," demanded Overlord Zivar, a towering reptilian figure whose presence radiated the authority of countless conquered worlds. His obsidian scales shimmered under the artificial lighting. "What is this anomaly?" The lead technician, a stout insectoid named Terek, hesitated before answering. "It appears to be a message, Overlord, originating from Sector 27 Gamma, specifically from Terra." The chamber fell into an eerie silence. Terra, the insignificant backwater planet that had only entered the galactic stage a century ago. The humans were unpredictable, resilient, but hardly a threat. "Play the message," Zivar ordered, irritation creeping into his tone. The hologram flickered, revealing a human figure in a modest military uniform. His face was worn with age, his gaze unwavering. When he spoke, his voice was measured, but carried a weight that sent an unspoken chill through the room. "This is General Elias Caney of Terra. We received your ultimatum. Your fleets stand at our borders, demanding surrender. But humanity does not bow." The figure leaned forward, his piercing gaze unwavering. "You have chosen war. Prepare for the consequences." The message cut off, leaving the chamber in stunned silence. Zivar's forked tongue flicked out in irritation. "Arrogant fools! They think they can challenge the Imperium?" Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly, though some exchanged uneasy glances. Terek cleared his throat. "Overlord, there is more. We detected an energy signature immediately after the transmission. A fleet. Human vessels are moving toward our outer colonies." Zivar scoffed. "Their antiquated ships can barely stay intact. What possible threat could they pose?" Another technician, a feathered avian named Lissa, hesitated before stepping forward. "With respect, Overlord, the fleet's velocity is beyond anything our sensors have recorded. They are moving at speeds our technology cannot match." Heavier murmur filled the chamber. Imperium warships represented the pinnacle of galactic engineering. The idea that humans had surpassed them was unthinkable. "What are their numbers?" Zivar demanded. "Small," Terek admitted. 15 vessels. But their energy signatures are unusual. We can't identify their weaponry or defenses." Zivar slammed a scaled fist onto the table. "Enough of this paranoia. Humans are reckless and inferior. They will crumble like all others before us." But not everyone was convinced. Lissa's feathers bristled, a sign of deep unease. "Overlord, humans adapt in ways no species can predict. Perhaps we should—" Zivar cut her off with a dismissive wave of his clawed hand. "Prepare the fleet. We will crush this feeble challenge before it even begins." As the council adjourned, Terek lingered behind. His mandibles clicked nervously as he replayed the human's message on his console. "Prepare for the consequences." For the first time, in his long service to the Imperium, Terek felt fear. Far away in the silent void of space, 15 human warships glided through the darkness. Their sleek designs reflected the light of distant stars, their advanced engines leaving no traceable energy trail. Aboard the lead ship, General Elias Caney stood on the bridge, gazing at a projected map of Imperium space. "Have they received our message?" he asked. His second-in-command nodded. "Yes, sir. They've taken the bait." A faint smirk touched Kane's lips. "Good. Let them think we are predictable." He turned to face the vast expanse beyond. It's time they learn what humanity is truly capable of. As the fleet vanished into hyperspace, a single phrase lingered in the void, a warning to those who dared to challenge Terra. War has a price, and humanity always collects. The Imperium fleet, a vast armada of over 100 warships, assembled near the outer colonies. Their sheer size and firepower had crushed countless enemies before they could even fire a shot. Yet despite their confidence, a sense of unease spread through the command center of the flagship Vengeance Ascendant. At its helm stood Grand Admiral Vortas, his reptilian frame imposing as he observed the holographic map displaying the incoming human fleet. A single red marker indicated their approach, insignificant against the overwhelming blue icons of the Imperium forces. "Admiral," a young officer called out, his voice laced with apprehension. "The human fleet will enter sensor range in 5 minutes." Vortas nodded, his claws tapping the metal railing. "Prepare all weapons. Let's show these creatures the cost of defying the Imperium." Officers relayed his command, but their movements were slower than usual. Reports of human technological advancements had spread like wildfire, whispers of impossible speeds and untraceable tactics that unsettled even the most seasoned Imperium commanders. The countdown to engagement ticked away. Then, with an almost imperceptible flicker, the human fleet appeared on their sensors. "What?" an officer stammered. "What is this?" The red marker had multiplied. What had been a single dot was now 15, each emitting a faint, irregular signal. Vortas narrowed his eyes. "Magnify!" The display zoomed in, revealing the strange vessels. Their sleek, angular hulls shimmered as though absorbing the light around them. No energy trails, no visible propulsion systems. Their weapons, if they had any, were entirely foreign. "Scan for their shields and weapon systems," Vortas ordered, his voice sharper than before. A tense pause. Then, "Negative, Admiral." The officer's voice was barely above a whisper. "Their systems are unreadable. It's as if they're cloaked in some kind of interference." Vortas's jaw tightened. "Then use visual feeds. I don't care how, just get me something." A nearby scout drone transmitted a feed. The image was crisp. The human ships moved in perfect formation, silent and unyielding. "They think their theatrics will intimidate us," Vortas sneered. He straightened. "Prepare for an alpha strike. Target their lead vessel." Dominion warships shifted formation, energy weapons charged, and missile silos locked onto their marks. The fleet braced for the order to fire, but before Vortas could speak, the lead human ship flickered and vanished. The command center erupted in alarm. "Where did it go?" Vortas barked. Officers scrambled at their consoles. "Admiral!" The sensor officer's voice was hoarse with disbelief. It's behind us!" Gasps filled the room as the holographic display updated. The human flagship had reappeared, directly behind the Imperium's command ship, its weapons glowing faintly. "How is that possible?" Vortas demanded, his voice trembling for the first time in his career. Before anyone could answer, the communication console crackled to life. A calm, measured voice filled the room. "This is General Elias Caney. Stand down or face the consequences." A chilling silence gripped the Imperium officers. There was no fear in the human's voice, no arrogance, only certainty. Vortas gritted his teeth. "Activate all defensive measures. Order the fleet to—" He never finished the sentence. A single pulse of light erupted from the human flagship. The Vengeance Ascendant shuddered violently. Systems shorted out, alarms blared, and the once mighty command center descended into chaos. "What just happened?" Vortas demanded, clutching the console. The sensor officer's voice was barely audible. "Admiral, our weapons are offline. Shields are collapsing." Vortas stared at the holographic display. One by one, the human ships were disappearing, then reappearing unpredictably within the Imperium fleet. Each time they emerged, another Imperium warship went dark, its systems rendered useless. The realization hit him like a physical blow. This wasn't a battle. It was a demonstration. Humanity was showing them the price of their arrogance, one ship at a time. On the bridge of the lead human vessel, General Caney stood with his arms crossed, watching the battle unfold. "Transmit one final warning," he ordered. His voice echoed across the broken Imperium comms. "Leave Terra in peace, or there won't be a second chance." Then, as silently as they had arrived, the human fleet vanished into the darkness. All that remained was fear and silence. The Imperium High Council convened in the Grand Chamber aboard the battered Vengeance Ascendant. Panic and anger filled the room as military leaders and high-ranking officials debated their next move. The humans had humiliated them, their fleet rendered powerless without a single shot fired in retaliation. "They dared to humiliate us!" roared Commander Orcs, slamming a clawed fist onto the table. "We are the Imperium, rulers of the stars! This is nothing but a human bluff." Grand Admiral Vortas, his usual composure shaken, stood at the head of the table. "Bluff or not, we cannot deny the facts. Their technology surpasses anything we've encountered. They disabled our fleet without firing a single conventional weapon," Orcs sneered. "Then we adapt. We outnumber them 100-1. Numbers will crush their arrogance." The argument was interrupted as a junior officer rushed into the chamber, clutching a data pad. "Admiral," he panted, "we intercepted a transmission from the humans." The room fell silent. "Play it," Vortas ordered. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing General Elias Caney once more. His expression was calm, yet piercing. "Imperium leaders," he began, his voice steady. "Your forces have trespassed upon Terra's sovereignty. We warned you to withdraw, yet you persist. Before you decide your next move, allow me to show you what humanity is truly capable of." The image shifted, showing a massive hangar. Lined up within it were colossal warships, unlike anything the Imperium had ever seen. Their weathered hulls radiated a silent menace. They were ancient, yet ominous, like sleeping giants waiting to awaken. "These are the Ark ships," Caney continued. "Relics from a time when humanity fought wars that shattered entire worlds. Each of these ships is a city of death, capable of annihilating entire fleets. We retired them long ago, hoping for peace. But if war is what you choose, we will awaken them." The room was deathly silent. Even the most battle-hardened Imperium commanders felt a chill as they stared at the ghostly behemoths. The Ark ships were waking up. Orcs scoffed, though his voice lacked its usual arrogance. "Propaganda. Old Rex meant to frighten us," but Vortas's eyes narrowed. He could see the energy readings pulsing along the ship's hulls. "No," he murmured. "They're alive." The image zoomed in, revealing the faint glow of power coursing through the Ark ship's cores. Their systems were fully operational. Their engines were warming up. Caney's voice resumed. "We do not seek war. We have seen the cost of such conflicts, and we still bear those scars. But make no mistake. If you force our hand, you will face consequences beyond your imagination." The transmission ended. The room sat in stunned silence. Orcs clenched his fists. "We cannot let this insult stand. If they had these weapons, why haven't they used them?" Vortas stared at him. "Because they're not conquerors," Orcs snarled. "Or they lack the will to fight." Vortas's gaze turned cold. "Or perhaps they've learned a lesson we have not." Before Orcs could argue, an alarm blared. The ship's AI announced, "Unidentified vessels approaching. Human energy signatures detected." Panic rippled through the council. The Ark ships were moving. From the depths of Terra's orbit, the Ark ships emerged, colossal behemoths breaching, the void like leviathans rising from an abyss. Their towering forms dwarfed the Imperium fleet stationed at the edge of the Sol system. Their ancient metal hulls, scarred by long-forgotten wars, gleamed with raw, intimidating power. Aboard the Imperium flagship Vengeance Ascendant, Admiral Vortas stared at the Arc ships in stunned silence. "What are those monsters made of?" one of his officers whispered in awe. Vortas turned to his tactical officer. "Status report. Are they active?" The officer hesitated, then nodded. "Admiral, scans show they are fully powered. Their energy readings are off the charts." The Imperium fleet, once so mighty, suddenly felt insignificant. On Terra, aboard the command ship Aegis Eternum, General Caney observed the battle map, his expression calm. A young officer approached. "All Arc ships are online and in attack. Formation, General. Imperium forces are holding position just beyond Mars orbit." Caney nodded. "They're deciding whether to fight or flee. Let's remind them why they should choose the latter." He pressed a button, activating a fleet-wide transmission. "All Arc ships, activate deterrent protocol. Let's give them a demonstration." The Arc ships came to life. Enormous railguns extended from their hulls. Missile silos unlocked. Cannon barrels emerged, their glowing tips casting eerie light across the battlefield. On the Vengeance Ascendant, the bridge was dead silent. Even Orcs, who had been so eager for war, now looked uncertain. Vortas exhaled. "They're not bluffing." Orcs bared his teeth. "Then we strike first, overwhelm them before they can react." Vortas glared. "And risk total annihilation?" "Look at them, Orcs. These ships were not built for balance. They were built for one thing: destruction." Before Orcs could retort, the ship's AI announced, "Incoming transmission from the human fleet." Caney's face appeared on the screen. His gaze was calm, yet unyielding. "Imperium forces, you are trespassing in Terran space. This is your final warning. Leave or be erased." A suffocating silence gripped the Imperium bridge. Vortas took a deep breath. "General Caney," he said, stepping forward, "this is Admiral Vortas of the Imperium fleet. Your power is undeniable, but we are not a species that surrenders easily." Caney's gaze hardened. "Nor are we. But let me be clear, Admiral. This is not about pride. It is about survival, ours and yours. Choose wisely." The transmission ended. Orcs slammed his fists onto the console. "We must—" "Enough, Orcs," Vortas said sharply. "This is not about glory. This is about the survival of our people. If we push them further, we risk extinction." Outside, the Arc ships remained still, their weapons primed but silent. It was a warning, a reminder that humanity's restraint was not weakness, but a choice. For the first time in its history, the Imperium found itself standing on the edge of destruction, uncertain whether to step back or fall into the abyss. Vortas clenched his jaw. "Order a retreat." The Imperium fleet turned away, their engines flickering as they limped out of the Terran system. As the human fleet stood victorious, Caney watched them flee. "This isn't over," he murmured, but one thing was clear: Terra would never be conquered.